Hey, everybody, welcome back to the No Cover TV podcast. Look who's next to me. Miss Freddye Stover's in the house. We are going to have a great interview today. But before we get to Freddie, Miss Freddie here, I got to talk to you out there and say thank you from the bottom of my heart checking out the No Cover TV podcast. The past shows, which were audio that were on Spotify, are now on YouTube, and also the video shows that we are shooting now are on YouTube. So please check out the past shows. Check out today's show, of course, and the future shows. A lot of great artists and bands from all over the country and the world. It is amazing the music that is out there today. It is. And you know what I'm going to say next, people? Use my three favorite words. Support, support, support. Support these artists. Go to the shows. Pay a cover charge if there is one. Get to that swag table. Get an album, a CD, a t-shirt, a hoodie, a bumper sticker, coffee mug. Oh my gosh, it's just everything. And a keychain too. Get to the stage, enjoy the show, stay afterwards, meet the artist if you can, get an autograph. You just never know what's going to happen. And these artists are doing what they love, to put a smile on your face, and in return, your smile is putting a smile on their face. It's a great thing. It's this big circle of making happiness with music. So in the house today is the multi-award winning singer-songwriter, Miss Freddye Stover. How are you doing today, Miss Freddie?
I'm doing fine, thank you. And thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's a blessing. Thank you for coming on today. We're going to have a great time. And you are a busy young lady.
Yeah, to say the least.
To say the least. Now Miss Freddie's at work right now, and you are RN, a registered
Yes.
nurse. Yes, and you're in the hospital. Yes, you are. So if a bunch of sirens and lights go off, you might have to run, right?
No.
No,
Nope,
she says,
that's not the kind of nursing. No, I do it's outpatient and I work for a surgeon. We
oh,
do surgical oncology and general surgery, but
okay.
mostly our practice is dealing with pancreatic, colon, and rectal cancer patients.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's
Yeah.
that's a heck of a job. Wow. So we're gonna
It
have a lot of
is, and I'm very passionate about it.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. Well, we're gonna talk about all that, but we are gonna have a lot of fun. This is your show, and we're gonna go all over the board. We're gonna talk about now, the future, and we're gonna go in the past. Okay. So
Okay.
what I like to do now, Miss Freddie here, Stover, if you don't know, she's a blues singer. And oh my goodness, do you really rock the blues? I've been bluesing all day.
Thank you. Thank
It's
you.
great stuff. And we're going to get to her music in a few here. But before I go down there, Miss Freddie, I would like to jump in your head there and wander around and take you back in time. Can I do that?
Sure, you sure
Uh,
can.
All right. Now I want to bring you back to around 8 to 10, 8 to 12 years old. That's about the time we're listening to our parents' music, maybe our siblings' music, maybe we're catching on to our own music. What were you
Right.
catching on back then? What were you listening to?
Let's see, about 8, 10, around about that time, probably like the Motown stuff, the Stack stuff. I was really into the Temptations, the
Yes.
Supremes, the Beatles, Simon and Garfunkel. Oh God, I was I was into a lot.
That's
While my parents listened to blues and country. My mom listened to blues, my dad listened to country. I couldn't stand neither one. I said, "What is that?" To myself. I would never say that out loud for fear of repercussions.
right, right,
Well, at least with
right.
my mom.
Mm,
But yeah, that's what I listened to growing up.
really, that is real interesting, real interesting. So now you were listening to country and blues. Now, did you? Well, obviously you swayed more towards the blues. I see.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Now, back then, were you? You had a credible voice. You had to be in choir. You had to be in church or school choir, weren't you?
I didn't join the church choir 15. I was 15 years old when I joined.
Okay.
Yeah, and I never had any vocal lessons in my life up until 3 years ago, 3, 4 years ago.
3, 4 years ago. No,
Yeah,
I
I had
believe that.
vocal lessons because I wanted to know the mechanics behind to my, protecting my voice
Yes.
and breathing techniques. And, I learned a lot, from the two ladies that I took lessons off of. It was brief, but it still sticks in my head till this day.
It's a whole different learning curve, isn't it? New breathing techniques and everything.
It is. It is. Absolutely.
Yes. So, okay, well, we're getting through, 15, and you're in high school and stuff like this. And choir, were you in high school choir?
No, I was
Mm.
not. I was in the high school band. I played flute.
You played the flute, really?
I
Okay,
taught myself to play flute when I was probably when I was about 16. I taught
okay.
myself acoustic guitar.
Beautiful.
I wanted to play the drums. My mother said no because of the
We're going to
noise.
have
That's
that.
fine. So I took up playing the violin, the viola, but the flute is the one that stuck out with me, and I kept that up until my oldest was 3. And then I just stopped playing. Then I just forgot about what I, had taught myself and I learned.
But
So,
you're
but
so okay.
yeah, yeah.
So when you were, in your teen years in high school, is this a seed that might have got planted in the back of your head that this might be something I might want to pursue later in life? Is being
I
an
never
entertainer?
really thought about it back then. Nope, because I wanted to be a pediatrician.
Ah, pediatrician.
When I was in high school, I wanted to be a pediatrician or a neurosurgeon. That was my goal and
Wow.
my thought. But as I got older, I turned that into I want to be a nurse.
Yeah.
I think that's where I would be the most useful as being who I am, as being a
Right.
nurse. So,
Right. And you are a nurse. Yes, you are.
yes,
Yes, you.
yay.
Yes, you are. So obviously, after 18, life begins, and we go to college, and we pursue different things, and all that great stuff, and have a family and stuff. What year was it that you decided to get out there and get that voice out there and start singing the
Uh, Actually, 1996, I was dating a bass player in a blues band,
blues? Ooh,
and I was singing a cappella Silent Night to my youngest, who was 3 at the time.
really?
And he said, I didn't know you could sing. And I said to myself, I didn't know either. Because when I joined my first choir at 15, I had to do a solo, and that was terrible. The church was silent. And that's when my stage fright started. I said, I'll never do this again.
Oh no, kind of happened to me at
But
6.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. It was terrifying moment for a 15-year-old. So throughout the years, I just sang in church choirs. I didn't,
Singing church, there you go. It's a
didn't
little
want to be
safer
out
there.
there. Yeah, yeah. So he said they were looking for a singer for the band.
All right.
And he said, why don't you try out? And I'm like, I really was hesitant, but he talked me into it.
Okay.
So that's how I got started. I went and auditioned, went in the bathroom next door. They had a 100-foot cord. I turned on the water and I started singing something bluesy. I don't even know what it
Okay.
was. I was so terrified.
Oh, you were. But you did.
Absolutely.
But you
I was
did.
scared to death.
That's great. Okay. Well, in 96 it started. But I
Hmm.
was reading not shortly, something came into your life that wasn't expected. And that happened to be
Yeah.
breast cancer.
Yes.
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 And that was very hard for you and for anybody that has cancer. Definitely.
Yes. Yeah. I was already a surgical oncology nurse taking care of cancer patients, especially breast cancer, like after surgery, because I was working in the hospital at the time on the floor. Um, and it was the first time was actually found by accident, if I can say that. I went to my gynecologist for one thing, and he said, "By the way, when did you have a mammogram? When was your last one?" I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "Well, given your family history, I think you should have one." And
Yeah.
so I went for a routine mammogram, and that's when it was found, and I had to go get a biopsy, a proven biopsy to make sure that's what it was, and it was. And when I got the results, I cried for 24 hours straight. I was
Yeah.
angry. I felt sorry. I was angry. I just cried until my mother called me the next day, and I just bawling my eyes out. Didn't sleep, didn't eat, just went to the bathroom. That was it. And all
Oh,
she could tell me was, I have to think about the kids because I had my 2 sons, at the time. We hung up and I thought about that. I prayed and, I said, okay, let's do this. So
yeah.
handpicked my surgeon. I already knew the surgeon that did actually both of them because I've taken care of
Okay.
their patients,
All right.
so I knew the reputation and,
Okay. I just feel bad. I have family members that went through that and stuff, and it's a nightmare, and it puts you through pretty much a living hell. But you
yeah,
gotta hang
yeah,
in there, and you gotta believe
yeah,
in the Father above. Definitely.
yep,
That's that's,
absolutely,
that's for
absolutely.
sure. And you came out fine, but didn't it come back around and kick you again?
Came back around 5 years, I had that 5 year survival rate. And then one day I said, oh, this left one doesn't feel right. Something's wrong. And so I called my surgeon's office. I got in to see him that same week.
Hmm.
And before I went to see him, I asked my manager, could I take, the next week off?
Right.
Because, I was going to see how soon we were going to have surgery because I knew it was cancer. So I went into his office I think it was a Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it was a Tuesday. And
Okay.
I told him the symptoms I was having, and he said, "Yeah," I said, "Yeah, probably not likely." He said, "But I'll biopsy it here in the office." And he called me Friday. The biopsy results came back, and he's like, "It's cancer. When do you want to have surgery?" I said, "How's next week look?" And he's like,
Wow.
"Oh, that's it." I said, "Absolutely." I said, "Let's do this." And so, yeah, and that was the first time was in 1998. The second time was 2004.
2004. Well, Miss Freddie, I really look up to you because you kicked its butt. Yes, you did.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
did.
yeah.
Yes, you did. And amazing, amazing. But let's not dwell on that. Let's get to you and your story and your music. Okay. So now, wasn't it
Okay.
about 2002 you started getting the band together and trying to get the music out there? Or,
Yeah, about 2002, 2003, I left my first band that I joined, Blues Music Works, or BMW, like the name of the car. And I
yes.
wanted to venture out on my own. And some of my bandmates from the band helped me out.
Great.
And I got to know some musicians around the area that I lived in at the
Great.
time. And I did that. And it was hard. It was a struggle because I didn't know how to book shows and talk
Um,
to people.
mhm.
So, my way of getting into a venue was I picked a song that I really loved and I thought I was good at, and that's At Last. And I would sing a cappella. And then
Oh,
after, first couple sentences, they're like, oh, So that's how I would get in. And I did that for several years.
several years. Whoa. And so you went through, now wasn't the first, well, you went through the BMW, but then wasn't it Blue Phase?
Blue Phase, Faz as in zebra, E.
That's
Yes.
right, Blue Phase. And then it became the Miss Freddie Blues Band.
Yep, Miss Freddie's Blues Band, and that's because of the members, the former members I had in there, because they said, "Well, people come and hear you, see you. You need to." I said, "Well, it's about all of us." They're like, "Nah, not really. We're just backing you."
Yeah,
So I was really back and forth on that, and then I finally said, "Okay, we'll do it, Miss Freddie's Blues Band." And so that came about probably about 2007.
2006.
um, 2007, 2008, probably close to nine, because we went to compete in West Virginia for their
Oh,
Blues Challenge,
okay,
and
great.
we won.
Whoa.
We won, and we went to Memphis the following year to compete. We didn't win or place, but it was just a good experience because I'd never been to Memphis, Tennessee before.
Wow.
So,
You didn't expect that one, did you?
no, I did not. I was so shocked. I was very shocked by that.
Right on. Now, the members of the Blue Phase Band, did they come and become full-time members in Miss Freddie's Blues Band? Or do you
The
have,
only No, everybody had
okay,
moved on, did their own thing. My guitar player, Jason Caligiuri, we're friends till this day. He actually joined the first band like about 2, 3 months after, probably about a month after I
oh,
joined BMW. He joined. He was 16 at the time, and then
16.
fast forward, yeah, he was in my band up until 2008, 2009. He left. So the guitar player that was leaving BMW, Greg Casile, we nicknamed him G Man. He came on the scene 2009.
Hey,
So he can, And then it just kind of trickled down into new members. So these guys, we've all been together probably like probably 12, 13 years. Because I look back at pictures, I'm like, oh, they've been in the band with me for a long time.
All right, all right. So the band makes up of you, G-Man, Bob Deal, Big Sexy, and Sean Tyler, right?
Yes, yes, yeah,
Amazing.
yep,
Amazing. Oh my
yeah.
goodness, it is amazing, people. And don't go anywhere to listen to the music just yet, people. You gotta stay for the interview, okay? Now, also, you also do Glory Be Gospel Band.
Well, that's a spinoff from the second band I have, which
Is
is
that
Miss
a
Freddie's
okay?
Home
Oh yeah, I
Cooking.
want to know about that. Okay.
Yeah, Miss Freddie's Home Cooking Band is the second band that the um the guitar player who is the bass player who plays all kind of instruments,
Oh,
Mike Houston, he started out with me in Blue Phase, helping me out playing bass and guitar.
all right.
Then he played bass once Jason started playing guitar for me. So fast forward, he had left, and then we started doing some duo acoustic acts things. And then we formed the band, the home cooking, Miss Freddie's Home Cooking Band.
Okay.
That band spins off. If people wants us to do gospel, we do. We're called the Glory Be Band, and that's actually the title. It's going to be the title of my gospel album, and it's also a title of an original song
Yeah.
titled Glory Be. So yeah,
I can't wait to hear that. I cannot wait to hear that. I love
yeah.
gospel. That is amazing. So now, how many CDs, singles, EPs do we have out?
I have two albums,
Well, it's great.
and I have four singles out.
Four singles.
And I'm working on a country tune that with the home cooking band, and I hope to release it in October. It's called Pink Lemonade, and October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes,
So
that's
I'm
beautiful.
hoping to get that out. We're used to doing it, but I want to do something a little different.
Yeah, that's great to
That'll be my fifth single. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, stir it up a little bit. And you're very busy, and you do. I mean, I got a sheet here that's just going down 2 miles here of all the stuff you're doing, and it's incredible work you're doing. I mean, being a survivor of breast cancer stuff, you do a lot of charity work. You support a lot of different charities, and one,
I
the
do.
vets. Yeah, from the vets to the Pink Day, the Relay for Life, Toys for Tots, it just goes on, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah, you're welcome. It's something that I've always wanted to do to get into charity work, and the way that I've done it is through music because people appreciate music and they appreciate the support from the musicians. And a lot of us, have been through certain things that certain charities like me, one of my charities, and unfortunately, I'm not able to do it this year because of, show conflict, is
you.
Pink Day up in Leechburg, Pennsylvania, and it raises money for breast cancer awareness and for the Breast Cancer um, Research Foundation. So I'm good. This is the first time, and I think this is the 11th year that I'm going to miss it. So, but I want to thank Sherry Jackson Price, who spearheads it every year. She's terrific, phenomenal, and it keeps growing. Because I teased her one year, I said, you're going to need three towns just to hold this one event because it's
Right.
just growing. It takes over downtown Leechburg. Um, and then I do another one is for the sake of kids. It's called Rockin' the Roosevelt and the Band Blast. And it's money to help raise to keep up the upkeep of a playground in Arnold, Pennsylvania for the kids. So those are the three that I am well, except for this year for Pink Day that I do every year.
That's amazing, Miss Friday. That is amazing to do that, and we all thank you. And like you say, music heals the heart. I feel definitely,
Right,
definitely. We need
exactly.
that music
Exactly.
out there. Yeah, most definitely. Before I get any
Right.
further, can you tell everybody out in podcast land where they can find your music and what you're about?
Oh, gee, yeah. You can go to my website, missfreddie.com, and check out my bio, check out my shows where I'm going to be at. And my music is on Amazon and iTunes and YouTube and
Oh,
Spotify. Yeah, and then there's some other music platforms that my publicist has me on. So pretty much on a lot of the music platforms out there.
it's kind of pretty neat nowadays that you can kind of push a button and it just goes everywhere. And it's like not 20
Yeah,
years ago.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Where you pretty much had to write, or just send something physically, like a CD or a cassette.
Sad. Oh, yes, the cassettes, putting posters on the telephone poles and dealing out of our trunks. Oh,
Yeah.
my. Yeah, I may be old quick. Now, I see
Mhm.
you have quite a few fans that love Miss Freddie. Oh, what do you think of that?
Oh, thank you, you
No.
all. But I tell people it's not about me. It really is about all of us.
Yes.
And I have met people throughout my lifetime. I've become great friends. I've sang at friends,
Oh,
they at their uh, weddings, receptions. People have gotten engaged. I just sing one song and they've gotten engaged. I said, oh,
that's
and unfortunately, I have sang at people that I know or their relatives' funeral, which I'm honored to do
true.
because it's an honor to have
It
met
is.
them and to know them.
No, no,
So I said it's about a celebration of life. So
it,
yeah, and I tell everybody every time I'm at one of my shows, you all know we love you. I said a lot of you know me. I'm just not saying that to be saying it to get your attention. I said I can get your attention any other way. We're like 8 inch heels and fall on my face and let's see what happens. I try to be joke and but yet be for real.
yeah,
And people like that. People
yeah.
like that. So I'm not a phony. I'm approachable. I said there might be 500 people in front of you, but I said, we'll get to each other eventually.
We
So
will. That's awesome. Now, are you and the band playing out quite a bit? What are you doing?
holy cow, between the two bands and then my duo and my trio and then the Glory Be
Oh,
band. Glory Be band not so much. But yeah, I've been performing every weekend. It always starts up like April,
okay.
maybe 2 or 3 dates, and then it's a free for all. It's every weekend from May. I'm booked now till the end of November because December, January, I want to, spend time with my family, come up with new music, new ideas on how to keep the momentum going musically.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. Now, when you're playing out, I'm sure you've played the smaller venues, some bigger venues, and things like that. All right. I want to
Mhm.
ask you, do you like the smaller venues where the people are kind of on top of you, or do you like the bigger venues, bigger stage, and they're kind of a little out there?
They're 50-50 for me.
Okay.
There may be days that, oh, I want to go sing in front of a lot of people. And so that's where the festivals come in or community days. Or we have this thing in Pittsburgh called Picklesburg. And if
Picklesburg.
you're from Picklesburg, yes, it's all things pickles. You name it.
Pickle.
Pickled
Ah,
good, pickles, pickle juice drinking contest, you know, shirts. Oh my gosh. And it was voted a couple of times as one of the best food festival in the United States. So I love playing for that. And then there's the small venues. Sometimes I like that intimacy, it depends upon my mood. It's like, I really, really need to, as if I'm having a conversation and it's just
yeah,
maybe, you know, us and 20 people in the audience, and that's
that's
okay.
that's personal
That's
right there. Oh
yes,
yeah.
that's very
Uh,
personal.
That's when you can definitely reach into their heart and soul and get at them. Oh yes, when
That's
they're
right.
that, when
That's
it's
right.
like that.
Yeah.
Now, what studio are you using? Because they're doing a great job.
So it depends. I go to two.
Okay.
There's the one in Wade in the Water. I so there's two that I use.
All right.
Red Cayman Media Studios in the North Hills of Pittsburgh,
All right.
Pennsylvania. And then there is Gig Masters in Lower Borough, Pennsylvania. And that's where I'm currently recording my Roots and Blues album that
Oh,
should be out sometime in the fall. And I'm excited about it.
I am
All
too.
original music on it, written by Mike Sweeney. So he's a bass player
Oh,
out of Pittsburgh. But those are the two studios that I've used, and I've used Mr. Smalls on the north side to record "Something to Believe In,"
Oh,
which is a great tune. It's a cover tune, but
yeah.
it's just so I just love it. So yeah, so the singles between the two, and the one and
Okay.
the third.
Oh, okay. That's good. Now, when I listen to your music, I'm hearing some influences in there. You want to mention any of those influences?
Absolutely. My first influence is Coco Taylor.
Oh,
Hands down, she is my biggest influence. I just love what she did, and I'm sorry when she was here in Pittsburgh. I didn't get to see her before she passed away, and I said I'm never going to do that again. Anybody that I admire, I'm going to try to go see.
yeah.
It's Coco Taylor, Big Mama Thornton, Billie Holiday, Sarah Vaughan. The list goes on. But those are my biggest influence as far as what I do. Etta James. Etta James is on that list too.
That's
Yeah,
who we had at James. Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I had the
definitely.
privilege back in the day to hang out with Lonnie Brooks for a little bit. And, mm, mm, mm. Oh, he's a
We
wild
are
man.
opening for him. We are opening for him in November. He's coming to
Are you really?
Pittsburgh.
Oh, tell him
Yes,
Big Al said hey.
I sure will. I definitely will.
Oh, it's the best when he jumps off the stage with his guitar and just runs through the audience and just plays that, just riffs it on the guitar. It's amazing. I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
That's what the blues are about. Oh yeah, to get it in people's face and get them bluesing. That's I
And
love it.
people like entertainment. People love to be entertained.
Yeah, yeah,
They want to leave their issues and their troubles and situations outside the door.
exactly, exactly,
So that's
exactly.
entertainment.
Right on, right. Now, when in the beginning I introduced you as a multi-winning, award-winning artist here, and my goodness, I have a list here. It goes on and on. I mean, Blues Foundation, Instrumental Music Awards, Best Blues, BGH City Paper, Modern Soulful Musician of the Year, Iron City Rock. Should I continue?
No, please. It's funny you mentioned that because I I was talking to a couple, well, actually the MC that had introduced us at the Band Blast charity, my blues band and I did Sunday. And he's like, I could go on, but we got to get this show going. I said, and and people come up to me, they're like, wow, your awards. I said, I'm going to tell you something. The only way I know I've gotten an award or I've been nominated for something, if my publicist emails me, or if I'm tagged on Facebook, or if somebody like says, "Hey, you got the congratulations on the award." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I
Right.
said, I'm so busy, because I'm always trying to do better than what I did the day before. That's the person that I'm competing with.
Yes.
So I'm very honored because I'm telling you, Al, years ago, I compare myself when I first started out to today. I'm a very different person.
Yeah.
The stage fright is still there, but it's not bad. Because I tell people, you're either going to love me or hate me. I said, there's only two. There is no in between. Like
Yeah.
doesn't
Right.
exist. It's either love or hate. That's the
Yeah.
way it goes. And I'm very different and I'm more passionate because I have accepted who I've become and who I should be and have to be,
Yeah.
for the people's sake who come to hear what I do along with my bands.
Yeah. When we come to accept who we are and what we are and what we can do, everything just smooths out. We do it our way and we have a good time at it. Yes.
Again,
And people
again.
notice that, definitely. Oh, yes, yes. And that
Yeah.
incredible smile of yours, I'm sure when you smile, the whole world is smiling because that is a beautiful smile you cannot wipe away. I love that, Miss
Yeah.
Reddy.
Oh,
Oh,
thank
that's
you. Thank
great.
you. I appreciate that.
Oh my goodness, so much to talk about here. Now, there's questions I want to ask you that are my favorite questions. I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit. I won't embarrass you. Okay, you're not a hard rock band because I like to pick on them a lot. But anyways, these questions I really like to hear some of the answers to. Now,
Okay.
you get two answers on this question here. Now, I want you to think
Okay.
in your head. We're going to go around the world here. two stages you really would love to perform on anywhere in the world?
Oh, the Red Rock in Colorado, I believe. That's
Uh,
one.
yes.
That's one. I've seen pictures, I've seen videos. Oh, it's fantastic. It's beautiful. And the reason why I would want to, well, one, because, a lot of musicians have been there, but when I was a kid, I studied rocks. I was into geology, and I used to collect all different kind of rocks no matter where I went, outside or another neighborhood. If we went camping somewhere, I'd bring back a collection of rocks. So Red Rock is one.
All right.
And another place I'd like to perform. Oh, New Orleans.
New Orleans, hey, that's home base. I mean, you fit right in there. Oh my goodness, that'd be great.
I'd like to go to New Orleans.
Ah, yes. And Red Rocks, yeah, I've been there on that stage, and the acoustics are great. You would just blow it away. It is a beautiful place, and when the sun's going down, it's amazing.
Mhm.
Oh, yes. So I can see you on that stage, and I can see you in New Orleans. Oh yeah, and I can see it coming soon too. Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. And we're gonna jump off subject for a second. You mentioned rocks. I love geology. I used to mine rocks out in the desert in different caves and stuff. I have a big collection. I used to sell rocks and gems and stuff like that. And
Okay.
my business was called Pogo's Rocks after my service dog. So he would go with me
Oh,
to the caves, and he would dig, and I would dig. So yeah, we had a lot of fun.
okay.
Got a lot
Okay.
in common there, a lot of it in common there. Good, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool because I don't meet too many people that like rocks.
Yeah.
Figure I'm in rock and roll, I might as well like rocks too.
Exactly.
Exactly. So next question here. Two answers on this one. Now these are people. A person that's alive, a person that has passed away. Who do you really, really, really want to join on stage and perform with? Who would that be?
Coco, Coco Taylor and Tab Benoit.
Oh, can't top that. No, you can't top. Look at that smile. Look at that smile, people.
Oh, yes, that's very easy. And I got Tab Benoit came to Pittsburgh a few years back, and I got to see him and talk to him. And he's a cool person to talk with. I told him, I only came here for two reasons to see you. A, to hear you sing, and some of your things I do cover. Thank you very much. And I do give you credit. I never take credit for anybody's work. And I
Right.
said, to touch your hair. Can I touch your hair, please? And he laughed. I said, no, I'm serious. And he let me touch his hair. I said, oh my God, it is real.
Oh,
You know,
oh, that's his hair. Oh my goodness.
that's the only two reasons. I wanted to see him, hear his music, and touch his hair.
That's just
But he's very nice to talk to. Yeah. When I told him the charities that I do, I mean, he was right on spot, like listening, and he talked about how the wetlands down there, because he's from Louisiana. And it was only a short conversation because people were coming around and interrupting. I'm like, this is my time.
right
But you don't
away.
know that I'm not talking, Mom. Leave me alone. But it was okay. It was okay. I got to. He put on a great show, and I got to touch his hair, so I'm good.
Yes, that's the big thing right there. Now, does Miss Freddie plan on going on any tours, getting out of the state and doing some stuff
It will be next year.
next year?
So it'll be next year, starting probably in the summertime. Now, I'm working on going to Europe and tour, maybe a couple countries next year, but we'll see how that, works out. There's nothing set in stone yet. But next year to go out of state, I plan on going to Delaware, visiting, plan on
Okay.
going back to Tennessee, Memphis, and got an invite to come down to Florida. So, you all will know as soon as I know.
Well, great. And if you're ever in my area of Michigan, get a hold of me. I'll get you booked. Definitely.
Absolutely, I sure will. And I've been up there, Detroit, I was dating a guy, family reunion, and it was pretty cool. I didn't get to see a lot because there's a lot of family stuff going on. We were only there for 3 days, but it was my first time, and I said, "Oh, we got to come back up here just for the music,"
You got to visit,
So
yeah, Motown. You got to visit Hitsville, where the
yes,
Temptations and all of them did their thing. Oh, it's amazing. And me and the wife always watch the Temptations movies too, so we love them. You know, love R&B. We do love our R&B. Now, next question I have for you. This hits me right there, and I want to hear your answer. When you're out there, let's say you're in front of a big crowd, say 500, 1,000 people, and you get on stage, and the band starts, you start singing the blues. Oh my! And the people hear you. They turn around. They're coming to the stage. They're moving. They're swinging. They might be dancing, but most of all, they might be singing your songs. When you see that, Miss Freddie, how's it hit you in that heart of yours?
It makes my heart skip a beat. That's part of a few songs that I know. And it makes me glad because I have done what I'm supposed to do, what I'm commissioned to do.
Yeah.
And it makes me so happy. And I tell myself, you have to work on this more because people want to come out and get away from their issues, their situations and problems. And that's how I look at it. And I'm so glad. And then in my head, I'm like, okay, hurry up, let's finish this set. I'm gonna get out there and start talking to people.
Right.
But I have to be mindful of that because people stop me in the conversations are long, which is totally fine with me. But it's like
Yeah.
I have 15 minutes because I have to get back up on stage. Now, if I'm doing a festival, it's like, okay, we have this hour, 90 minute. I want to hurry up. I want to get out there before people start leaving.
Right.
Because you know what I found now? People come up to me and say, "Oh, we came out to hear you. After that, we're going home." I said,
Well, that's
really?
yeah.
Don't you want to stay and party with me? No, we're going home. We just came out to hear you.
We heard
Oh,
you.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah,
Now,
it makes me very, very glad, very, very proud of the folks that come out and support what I do.
that's wonderful. Now you said you had a little stage fright there, but after your performance and stuff, and everybody gets off the stage, you're done packing up your gear. How long does it take you to unwind after a show?
Probably it doesn't take long,
No,
honestly,
no.
because when I get off the stage and start talking to people, I have calmed down. They see that I'm sweaty,
Right.
but inside, I'm on a different plane now. It's like, okay, it's over with. And I don't have to be up on that stage and I'm half scared to death, but I know I have to do what I have to do because it's important to the audience.
It is.
So it doesn't take long, maybe like a few minutes, and then I'm pretty much back to myself because I tell people on stage, I'm Miss Freddie. Off stage, just call me Freddie, please. But people are so used to calling me Miss Freddie.
Well, it's respect.
Okay.
About
Yes.
respect. Yes, it is. You're Miss Freddie. That's right. You are. Next question. Memorable moments. Is there anything that really stands out over the years that you can remember at one of the shows?
Oh my, well, a couple things.
All right.
When I went to Elkins, West Virginia to do their Riverside Blues Festival,
Oh,
it was my first time doing a festival.
okay.
Uh, and I had the kids come up, and the stage was kind of ground level almost, maybe a few inches, couple feet off the ground. But I had the kids, the kids were dancing and, playing and, just getting with the music. And that's my most memorable. The next one, the year COVID hit that Friday, that first Friday in March of 2020.
Yeah.
My home cooking band and I were playing at Children's Hospital here in Pittsburgh.
Nice.
And my last song was I Can See Clearly Now. And there's this little girl and her parents sitting on the couch in the atrium.
Okay.
And I said, I'm going to see if I can get the little girl up and sing. So she came up finally. The chord was long enough. I said, just sing, I can see clearly now, or it's going to be a bright. And
Oh.
that was the longest 9-minute song in my life. It was it was so much fun.
Oh, I
And
bet
her parents were smiling, and the little girl, I gave her the microphone and said, "Here,
it
I'll go
worked.
grab his microphone. You got yours. I'll go get one of my
Right.
bandmates." And we just kept singing that chorus line. And she was so happy with her IV pole. I said, "I'm a nurse, but I can't put your IV back in because it'll hit the floor." And she started laughing, and her parents laughed. And it made me feel good because she looked like she just wasn't in a good place as far as her health.
Oh,
So I
well,
said, I'm glad her parents came up and thanked me. They're like, they said, this is the first time we've seen her smile and laugh, in the longest. And she had been there in the hospital for a while. So getting whatever treatments, I didn't ask. It's not necessary for me to ask. I can just tell being a nurse. And then my most funniest thing was the blues band and I were doing a blues dance on the north side of Pittsburgh. It's
Okay.
called James Street. So I was doing a slow song. I love those slow burning torch songs.
Yeah.
And as I was coming off the stage, I fell back. But
Oh,
the way I went, but the way I went down, it looked like it was staged.
oh,
And
really?
the gentleman in my band at the time, he looked. And I stayed on the floor, and I was just singing my heart out this love song. And people were like, screaming and dancing. Yeah. And then the song was over. And then before I went to the next song, two of my bandmates came in. They're like, "Are you all right? Did you do that on purpose?" I said, "No." I said, "But with these shoes on, with this wood floor," I said, "I'll never do that again." Because the drummer in the band at the time, he said, "I thought you were doing one of those James Brown moves." He said,
There
"That's what
you
it looked like.
go. Right.
You knelt down, you went back on the floor, and your leg went up." And I said, "Yeah, I tried to make my leg." So that was the
Got to make
funniest
it.
thing.
Might as well make it spectacular if you're going to do it.
Yes, yes,
And the show goes on, doesn't it?
yes,
Yes,
yes. So those are my most memorable, yeah,
that's great.
situations.
Okay, great. Now, over the years, have you done much collaboration with anybody, or going to do collaborations with anybody on your music or their music?
So I have been asked the last several years by a couple bands, two, three bands, to come in and put some background vocals on
Nice.
a song or two.
All right.
Um, I've collaborated on Wade in the Water. There's a gentleman, Mike Morgan, out of Ohio, who contacted me and wanted me to find a gospel song, which I love Wade in the Water. I collaborated with him, and there was a gentleman in Memphis that he knew, and a woman. So it was just the three of us,
Okay.
on that song, which is great. Um, and there's songwriters that write songs for me that I, have collaborated with.
Okay.
And so it's ongoing. So the answer to that question is yes,
Beautiful.
over many, many times the last several years. Yeah, and
Well,
I'm
great.
grateful because I'm comfortable going in the studio now.
Good. 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 You like being in the studio?
I didn't at first. I couldn't
You
stand
did
it.
it first. It's kind of, you got to get
That's
disciplined.
Yeah, it came from my first album in 2010, and there's a song on there called Habit. It reminds you of something Billie Holiday would do. It's an
Oh,
original written by Mike Sweeney, bass
okay.
player out of Pittsburgh. He writes a lot of my songs,
Okay.
and I did that take 30 times. And the last one I said, "I'm not doing this anymore. This is it. We're done." And they took the last take. I said, "Oh my God, no."
No.
But
It can be
comfortable now.
redundant. Yes, it can be
Yes, it
redundant.
can.
Take, take, take. Oh, yes, yeah. And you want a break most definitely
Exactly.
sometimes from that.
Exactly.
Now you're getting quite a bit of, radio and press and stuff like that, and that's great.
Yeah.
Great advertisement. You're getting out there. Ah,
Thanks. Thanks. Thanks to my PR guy, Michael Stover. I tell
Microsoft.
people if you need a publicist, contact Michael Stover, MTS Management.
Yes,
He's a great guy. He's a
yes,
great guy, and he will work hard for his artists as long as you work hard for him. So
he does.
it's
He
a
does.
win-win situation. Yeah.
Yes. Good deal. Good deal. Now, you want to talk about some songs? You got a new song coming out. Was it Slipping Away?
Slipping Away came out back in June.
In June. Okay.
Yeah, Slipping Away came back in June. My home cooking band played on it. It's original written by a friend who passed away suddenly a couple years ago, Mike Lazanga from Huntington, West Virginia. And he had introduced me to that song about 2.5 years. And so that year he passed away that June, uh, there's a place called Steamworks Creative in Gibsonia, PA. And
Oh,
we did a show there and we recorded. I had somebody videotape, professional videotape, three original songs. That was one of them. And he heard it. And I said, this song is so haunting. So I had asked him, do you mind if I record it? And we had talked about a month before he passed away. He had ideas. He said, no, you do it just a little bit. I don't know if he thought I did it too fast or too slow, but I said, Mike, it's one of those songs that, the vocals just take over and just
oh
make
yeah.
you want to get into the song. So, he's a great musician, great songwriter. We collaborated he wrote a couple songs on my second album.
Okay.
So I'm glad that I got to release this as a single. His wife and I keep in touch, and I
Great.
keep up and tell her, "Hey, Slipping Away is doing this on the charts. This is what's happening. This is what's going on." And because I'm very grateful for their
Yeah.
friendship,
Oh yeah.
and it's important. It's very important to stay in touch with people no matter what,
It
even if
is.
I didn't do anything, written by him.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that, he and his wife very kind, always supportive. So,
Look, that is amazing. That's great. Other song I was listening to, and I love it. Breaking up somebody's home.
oh, so that's an Albert King tune. And I recorded that out Tony's Treasure in Cadiz, Ohio, a few years back. And Sean Carney, who's out of Columbus, Ohio, he's a phenomenal musician, and won the Blues Foundation International Blues Challenge some years ago. And so Sean puts together every year, it's another charity event that I do, except for I didn't do a couple years. It's called
Okay.
Blues for a Cure. There's a hospital in Cadiz, Ohio. It's called
Okay.
Harrison Community. And, they he actually helps raise money for the hospital for the cancer center and
Great.
has raised a lot of money. Sean introduced me to that song. He says, I think you could do this. And so the blues band and I started, playing it out. And then when I went to Ohio for his charity event one year, I went by myself and I recorded in the studio. And I said, I love this song. He said, yeah. And so we still continue to do it. When we went out to Blues for a Cure this year, we did the song on stage, and Sean played guitar on it. My guitar player just, you know, he stepped back. He said, "Oh, go ahead," and it was great. It was
That's
absolutely.
that
I
is
love that
one.
song.
That is great. Now, I know you're at work here, and you kind of ratted yourself out on this one, but would it be possible to have you sing an a cappella song real quick for us?
It depends upon what you want me to sing.
But it's your show. Yo, I want something for Miss Freddie, please.
Well, since before we went on, air live, you did say you like gospel. So how about if I do "Wait in the Water"? Okay.
Yes.
Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. You know God's gonna trouble the water.
Oh, 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 right there, Miss Freddie. Oh, everybody on podcast land. This is the one and only amazing Freddie Stover in the house. So now you can go check out the music because I don't have to jump through the screen, but do it. So just do it. All right, Miss Freddie Stover, we're again at 48 minutes, almost an hour here, my friend. It's
Yeah.
beautiful to have you on. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for coming on. I have more questions, but I want to get you back on again, maybe 6 months or a year or so. I want to know where you're at, what you're doing.
Absolutely, because then I'll have all this music that's coming out. I have so many projects that I have put together. And so, yeah, absolutely. I
That
look
would
forward to it.
thank you. And being your show, anybody you want to say hey to, hi to, or thank out there?
Well, first and foremost, I do want to thank God for, providing me the tools that I need to do to give the music to you all out there. always, first and foremost, I want to thank my family and my friends for their support, their continued support, and their love. I want to thank my bandmates. I love all 8 of you. You drive me nuts, but I love you all.
That's beautiful. That's
And
beautiful. Thank
And most of
Oh,
all, I want to thank my fans out there and people who have come up to me and say, "Oh, never heard of you before. Didn't like blues, but I like blues now." So I really want to thank the fans and the audience out there for your continued support and coming out to, see me. And thank Michael Stover, my publicist. He's a great guy. Love you, Michael. Thank you for doing what you're doing. And thank you, Al, and every last interview or podcaster that I've ever met. You guys, you rock. You all definitely rock with what you do.
I love what I do. I played from 85 to 97. It was time to get the music out there because that needs to be heard. There's a lot of great music, all genres, all age groups. It's wonderful.
Exactly.
It's for the heart, people. It's for the heart. Definitely. So check out Miss Freddye Stover, where she's playing, where she's at in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Go check her out and get her upcoming CDs and new singles coming out. Oh my, oh my. And tell them once again, where can they find you?
MissFreddie.com, or you could go on Facebook to Miss Freddie, or find me on Instagram, Freddie Stover's Blues. You can find my music on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and other music platforms.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, everybody, we're going to get out of here. Check out the future shows, past shows, the upcoming shows. We've got a lot of great stuff, great genres and age groups all over the world coming on. And it's my pleasure to get the story and the music out there to all you people around the world. I've been doing this since 97, and I'm not going to stop. You can't get rid of Big Al. I'm a pain in everybody's butt, and I love it. Hey. So, Miss Freddye Stover, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And thank you for that beautiful smile and that a cappella song and what you do, because you're an amazing, amazing woman. You know that.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So tell everybody on podcast, see ya, because we're out of here. We'll talk to them soon. And don't go anywhere, okay? See you, everybody.
See ya.